My stepdaughter isn't allowed around my infant again until she gets therapy. This situation is harder than a normal situation due to us having full custody of my stepdaughter, and her only seeing her bio mom once every 4 to 6 months. However, I have told my husband I'm going to stay elsewhere until he checks his daughter into therapy. For a bit of context, I have been involved in her life since she was 5 and we have had full custody of her for 4 years. I gave birth 5 months ago and there's been things happening that I'm not okay with and never will be okay with. These things were not present prior to the baby arriving, so I know it's due to the baby, such as she is in complete competition with the baby based on looks alone. Like she will be holding the baby and say, "I'm so much prettier than you. You will never be prettier than me. You're just jealous that I'm the gorgeous one," etc., all in a baby voice. When my daughter smiles at her, she looks at me and her dad and says, "See, even she agrees with me." She knows she will never be as gorgeous as I am. We have asked her why she feels like she's in competition with a baby and not for the normal thing like attention but physical looks instead, and she always says things like, "I'm not in competition with her. There's no competition. I'm just gorgeous," and need to make sure she knows. The other thing is that I breastfeed, and nearly every time that she holds the baby, she comments on my daughter trying to nurse off her. Like if my daughter grabs her shirt, she's immediately saying things like she's trying to take my shirt off and get to my boobs, and makes comments to the baby, saying, "You're being inappropriate. Do not try to take my clothes off. You're weird. Those are my boobs." And she's 100% serious. Like she's really trying to accuse an infant of trying to strip her. I've talked to her about it. I've talked to my husband about it. I've talked to both of them at the same time. I've blatantly said that her attitude surrounding the baby makes me uncomfortable and untrusting. But apparently I'm blowing this out of proportion because it's not even a big deal. It is though, to me anyways, because it's every time she's near the baby. But today I had gone out to the car real quick, and when I came back and my husband told me that his daughter had the baby in her room. I go in and see my stepdaughter laying with the baby in a nursing position with her back turned to me. I walk in and ask what is going on, and she immediately acts disgusted and says she's trying to take my shirt off again and moves away from the baby and physically pulls her shirt down. I grabbed my baby and started packing. Husband comes in and asks where we are going. I tell him me and the baby are going to stay elsewhere until he gets his daughter into therapy because of what I just witnessed and the fact that I don't trust her around my infant anymore. I told him I had tried talking to him and her both several times and I'm done talking. He gets her help or I'm not coming back home. He says I'm blowing this out of proportion and he's sure that it wasn't what it looked like and that I'm ignorant for being willing to take the baby away from him and his daughter during crucial bonding months. I told him if he had taken me seriously to begin with, then it wouldn't have come to this. He can visit. She cannot until she's in therapy and working through her obvious issues. From the comments, first off, you are totally right in what you did. That is unhinged behavior. I believe the daughter could be doing this for many different reasons. Hormones from puberty could be making her crazy. The fact her mom isn't around, it was just her. And now you are the actual mother of this child can maybe mess with her head. I'm sorry, but TikTok, social media, friends at school, all nowadays with the pressure on girls to be the most gorgeous, most beautiful around. I would see if there are any boys she likes at school, but prettier girls. If her friends have commented on her looks or she feels less than, I would cut off social media and she need a specialist therapist who specializes in preteen and teen girls, social media, societal pressures and how that can affect her psychologically. The whole shirt thing can be curiosity as you are a woman and breastfeeds. She is probably curious as to what that feel like, what it's like to be womanly, a mother, etc., especially if she is having puberty hormones starting to flow through. But anyway, the attention, jealously, needing to feel superior, needing to feel gorgeous seems like a very bad self-esteem issue. That can be rooted in mother issues, social media, peers at school, etc., and definitely needs to speak with a specialist of SAP. This is very worrisome. Also an honest, non-accusatory, non-judgmental sit down with you and or your husband maybe in order to try to gently understand where this is all coming from. What is she feeling deep down inside that is making her react in this way? I've tried talking to her about her social group at school and everything else. I don't know how much is relevant, but I will give some info on it. She basically says that her and her friends have all decided that she's the prettiest, funniest and smartest in the group. She talks about it in a very, very conceited manner. She is so hyper-focused on looks and makes it into competitions with everyone, not just the baby, and it's always her saying she's so much better looking than basically everyone that surrounds her. I originally thought it was an insecurity thing, but she swears it isn't. My comments are always met with a no, I'm not insecure. I'm just beautiful and I know it, and I'm tired of people calling me insecure for pointing it out. As for liking any boys, she does not. She is lesbian. She has been saying that since she was maybe 8 or 9. She has been dating Madison for 2 years. As for the breastfeeding thing, curiosity is something I could overlook. It's her comments about the baby being a pervert, disgusting, gross, inappropriate when she's the one trying to nurse her that really set me off. Story 2. I told my stepkids I'm not their mom. My husband 40 male and I 36 female have been together for 8 years now and our marriage have been rocky. When I met him he had twins, boy and girl. I love them like they're my children, since it's hard for me to have kids they are mines. My husband and I tried for a baby last year and I became pregnant but had a miscarriage but I think I'm just not meant to be a new mommy. The kids are 16. The husband's kids haven't seen their mom in years because she left them for a guy in New York which is so sad because they didn't get to have a relationship with her. The twins call me mom and everything. We do everything like a little family I always wanted. When I was younger I always used to tell myself not to date a single father because they'd be messing with the mother of their kids but I took the leap of faith. The other day my son and daughter wanted to go to the mall with their friends, which was fine because they go to the mall a lot with them. The argument started because of what she was wearing. She wore a very short skirt with a crop top and a jeans jacket. I immediately told her no and to change her clothes because I didn't feel comfortable with her going outside like that. I don't even know where she got the skirt from because anything she gets from the mall she gives me a haul. Her brother didn't even care what she was wearing and just rolled his eyes at me. She was peeing upset. At the top of the steps she screamed and told me I wasn't her mom so I should stop acting like it. Her brother laughed and that made me feel even worse so I asked him why it was funny to him and he said that it's true. I'm not their mom so I need to stop acting like I can tell them what to do. This felt like a slap in the face because I basically raised her. And this is what I get. The past months they've been saying horrible things to me. My daughter even told me it was my fault I lost the baby and she's happy I did. But the next day I toughen up. I acted like nothing happened that day. I would usually wake them up for school and make them breakfast but this time I didn't. I made myself breakfast because like they said I'm not their mom. My son had a basketball game that day and I would be the mom to bring snacks for the team but I wasn't going. My daughter had a cheer competition 2 days after but I wasn't going and I know y'all might call me petty for this and I wouldn't disagree with you. I've been getting up and ignored everyone. I could feel them staring at me every time. Last night my daughter came up to me and asked me why I didn't show up to her competition and I told her I wasn't her mom so why would I? I can already see the whole and I raised my husband's kids and stuff. I told my husband what they said but he brushed me off. I don't think our marriage is working out and I've been thinking about a divorce. I feel unappreciative in the place I call home. When I slave in the kitchen to make them food they order out instead so I am the only one eating the food. Was that too harsh? From the comments, what changed in their life past month? OP, to be honest I don't know, never really got that question. I guess it's because they're teenagers and they feel the need to do what they want and say what they want. I've always been the same loving person I am even when they disrespected me I gave them my respect. My husband barely pays me attention and doesn't have S with me so that makes me think he is doing other things than going to work. Update. I know everyone has been spamming to know the update. And sorry I didn't make this sooner, I had to think about what was my next move. I tried sit the kids down and talk to them along with my husband. My stepdaughter was basically on her phone the whole time not even paying attention to what I said. Her brother surprisingly was listening and he apologized for laughing at the comment he and his sister made. I asked her if she can apologize for what she said about my baby but she brushed me off and again said the baby deserved it. My husband didn't do a thing when she said this. He sat down looking into space and I felt embarrassed so I knew what I had to do. I told him wanted a divorce if he wasn't to act like I'm a stranger and disrespect me. At this moment this was my first time getting his attention. He told me that wasn't the right decision and that we could go to therapy but when I mentioned that to him before he didn't care. I know this is not the decision you guys thought I would have chose but I'm trying to figure out what I want for my life. He begged me to not take it this route and I wanted to fold but I know it will happen again. This is really hard, you won't even believe who cried. My stepkids had tears coming out their eyes. I don't know if they were faking it or was being serious. It broke my heart but I can't keep living in a place I am not wanted. I'm staying with my mom for the meantime so I can get a break and clear my head because all this is too much. If I have anything else to say I will update you guys over here. It was a shock to me when my stepdaughter changed her demeanor and started saying sorry out of nowhere. I don't know if it's sincere or she's just ready for me to leave.